Petr Yan has no interest in running it back with Merab again. After Yan's stunning victory over the Machine last night, the entire MMA community immediately began calling for a trilogy. Fans believe this rivalry is too big and too dramatic to leave unfinished. Merab entered the fight riding one of the most insane streaks in UFC history. In their original meeting, he completely overwhelmed Yan and delivered one of the most dominant bantamweight performances the division had ever seen. But last night changed everything. In a chaotic 5-round war, Yan reminded the world exactly why he's always been considered an elite 135-pounder. His timing was perfect, his pressure was suffocating, and he defended takedowns that have broken almost every opponent Merab has ever faced. From start to finish, Yan outworked him, outsmarted him, and stayed one step ahead. Dana White praised both fighters for putting on an absolute battle, with neither man showing any signs of quitting. But during his post-fight interview, Yan made it clear that he doesn't believe the Georgian deserves an automatic rematch. That statement immediately ignited debate across social media. Some fans insist a trilogy is unavoidable since the rivalry is now tied at 1 win each. Others believe Yan should move on. Either way, the bantamweight division has just been completely shaken up. Here's exactly what Petr had to say.
Obviously, you want to enjoy everything now, but do you feel there's a need for a trilogy with Merab at some point, or is it done at this point?
You know, I think Merab should really just get the boys, get into the jacuzzi, think about it, and then we'll see. If you had to choose, what do you think is the next step? A trilogy with Merab or a fight against Umar, and who do you think is a more dangerous opponent? But you saw the fight of Merab versus Umar. You saw the way that fight went. So who's more dangerous? They can rematch and then we can see what happens. You know, just understand the fact that for me to get the opportunity to fight for the belt again, UFC made me go 3 more fights before I was able to get into the contender position again.
Dana White finally addressed Arman Tsarukyan's future in the division and also responded to Tom Aspinall's recent comments regarding his eye injury, where Tom felt Dana had downplayed how serious the situation was. During the UFC 323 post-fight press conference, Dana explained that his previous comments had been misunderstood. He said he was simply repeating what had been reported to him by people monitoring Aspinall's condition, and he stressed there was no disrespect intended toward the British champion. Henry Cejudo even weighed in, warning Aspinall to be cautious when criticizing Dana, pointing out that White is the man who ultimately controls the fight bookings. Despite all the controversy, Aspinall and Cyril Gane are still expected to have their rematch at some point in 2026. However, Tom's eye injury has kept him sidelined for a long time, and he hasn't been able to fully resume training yet. Dana confirmed that the UFC is continuing to monitor his recovery and will not rush him back into competition until he's medically cleared. At the same time, fans are still waiting on news about when this highly anticipated rematch might finally happen. As for Arman, Dana made it very clear that he does not currently deserve a title shot. He didn't list Tsarukyan as a possible next opponent for Topuria after Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. Instead, he emphasized that Arman still needs more wins, even after his impressive destruction of Dan Hooker. Let's break down what Dana had to say.
Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the odd man out now. We expect Ilia to be unifying against the interim title winner, which would, make a long runway for his
I wouldn't
title.
say that he's the odd man out. He had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. We had a little. We were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about all the crazy shit that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity, and then it can't end that way. So he's got to work his way back.
Ilia Topuria somehow managed to steal some attention even though the event wasn't about him at all. After Yan's victory, he gave an interview to the Russian outlet Golos, and his tone toward Merab was much harsher than what fans heard in his earlier English interviews. This time, he went all out. "Did you see what I did to him? Nobody has ever damaged him the way I did. I broke him. That's it. I broke him. He's sitting in a jacuzzi with his buddies right now." Those comments quickly went viral and sparked reaction everywhere online, including from Ilia Topuria himself. During a live Instagram session, the UFC champion spoke about Merab's loss, and he also issued a direct warning to Yan. It's important to remember that Ilia and Petr have quite a bit of history already. At one point, there were even discussions about them potentially fighting when Ilia was at featherweight, and Yan was a dominant bantamweight contender due to their striking heavy styles. Many fans believed it would have been a highly competitive stand-up war. Now, with Yan's latest comments, that tension has resurfaced once again, and Topuria isn't letting it slide.
Merab, brother, life has its ups and downs, but no matter what, you're always the best in our eyes. You'll come back stronger, faster, and unstoppable. Yan, Merab is like a brother to me. He is my family, you understand? Watch your words. I hope you show some respect. Words matter. We don't want any problems, but make sure you behave yourself.
The shockwaves from Petr Yan's win over Merab Dvalishvili are still being felt. Yan's performance defending 27 of 29 takedowns while completely outstriking Merab over 5 rounds is being called one of the greatest comebacks in bantamweight history. With his record now standing at 20-5, Yan joins legends like Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw as the only fighters at 135 to regain a world title after losing it. He didn't just shut down Merab's record-breaking wrestling. He matched his legendary gas tank and punished him with sharp boxing combinations and brutal body kicks. Merab, who came in on a 14-fight win streak, later admitted, "I was trying to make it more exciting by standing and trading, but he was just better tonight." Yan posted a staggering 93% takedown defense and even secured 5 takedowns of his own. The judges scored the fight 49-46 on 2 cards and 48-47 on the 3rd, although many fans and analysts believed Yan clearly swept all 5 rounds. Major outlets like Yahoo Sports labeled the result seismic as Merab's run toward Fighter of the Year, including 3 successful title defenses in 2025, came to a halt. Former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker applauded Yan's performance, praising his strategy, composure, and technical mastery against an opponent known for record-setting pressure. This victory firmly places Yan back on top and sends a massive ripple through the bantamweight division. Most likely, the UFC will still book a 3rd fight between Yan and Merab sometime in mid-2026, a final chapter to settle the rivalry once and for all. Let's hear what Robert Whittaker had to say.
The Petr Yan we saw in the octagon against Merab tonight was, in my opinion, the one we saw before he lost the title to Sterling with that funny knee, with that grounded knee. That's the Petr Yan I saw tonight. That's the one that has an answer for every position. The one that has the highest caliber of skill in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, especially kickboxing, and most importantly, putting it all together. He went in there and dismantled Merab. Didn't slow down a second. Didn't give a single position. Took Merab down. Took the fight to him. And honestly, that was the most clinical, leveled up version of Petr Yan we have ever seen. Like, this skill-wise, that fight was so far above the rest of the division.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Petr Yan that fight fought tonight doesn't lose to anybody. That was phenomenal, that performance.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.